to one of us, it happens to all of us. And Liverpool wingback Trent Alexander-Arnold agrees with Abraham.
It's a decision that all of us need to make. It doesn't matter whether it's just one player that's being abused or it's the whole team. We're all one big group, and the decision will be made with everyone. If the team doesn't feel comfortable playing, then I'm sure that we have the backing and the support of everyone around us, that's the right decision that needs to be made, and no one should be made to feel uncomfortable on the football pitch. And if one person's abused, then we all are.
Abraham could have chosen to represent Nigeria at international level. He's eligible to play through his father, but an appearance in either of these games this international break will commit his future to England.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
I'm April Cummings with a recap of the day's top local stories. Government says it is working in anticipation of public registers of beneficial ownership becoming the national standard and at the least implemented by EU member states by 2023. In a statement released at midnight, government announced Cayman plans to advance legislation to introduce those public registers of beneficial ownership when that occurs. Another group of healthcare professionals from the Health Services Authority heads off to the Bahamas to assist in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. The first team returned on Friday after providing 2 weeks of relief support. Opposition leader the Honorable Arden McLean says government needs to reconsider its plans to hold a cruise berthing referendum on December 19th. He says it's just too close to Christmas and creates challenges for voters who will already be busy with holiday preparations and some who will be traveling and have to deal with absentee ballots. That's a recap of the day's top local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
I'm Carsley Fuller.
I'm Dion Anglin.
I'm Shanda Gallego.
Radio Cayman's Information Hour. Produced by April Cummings, Carsley Fuller, Dion Anglin, Shanda Gallegos. If you see news happening, contact our newsroom, 949-7799. Radio Cayman News, the ultimate in news and information.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
For the health of it, Radio Cayman's premier health show is brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Holy Cross Hospital,
Cayman Fertility Center,
and EatingClean.com.
This is For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Hello and welcome to the Health of It. In the studio with me this evening is Mark Jensen. He's a yoga teacher at Bliss and quite a few other yoga studios, and we'll be talking about what is essential human movements right after a message from our sponsors.
It was difficult to learn that we could not get pregnant. Harder to learn that it was all due to me. Having kids was something we both wanted. So we turned to Cayman Fertility Center in East End. Their full-service facility was world-class with U.S.-trained and certified physicians who supported us throughout our process. If you or a loved one are struggling with getting pregnant, find out your options with Cayman Fertility Center. Call 233-0770.
Refilling and transferring your prescriptions have never been this easy. Simply go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and follow the easy directions from your desktop, mobile device, or tablet. All you need to do is pop into Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor to collect your prescription. They're open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 till 6 on Sundays and public holidays. No waiting in line, no wasting your lunch hour, no stress. Just easy online prescription refills and transfers from the pharmacy that has been caring about your health for 25 years. Call 947-8900 to speak to a pharmacist or go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and make life easy.
We believe that every life matters and we are all connected. One community, one people.
No matter where you live, Holy Cross Hospital of South Florida is breaking down the borders that should not exist in advanced healthcare.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we have opened our doors to the world, bringing you exceptional healthcare.
The multicultural staff features doctors and nurses providing top quality, compassionate healthcare while making patients feel at home.
Our Holy Cross International Services team provides guidance to patients and their families throughout their travel, accommodations, and recovery.
Quality medical care and advanced technology with sincere compassion and understanding. Your trusted health partner for life.
Learn more about Holy Cross Hospital. Email international@holy-cross.com or call 954-351-5906.
Once upon a time, we ate from the land and sea. We may not have had much growing up, but we had healthy foods. It's time to wake back up to natural eating. EatingClean.com is the island's premier 100% born Caymanian-owned cooked-to-order meal prepping service. Fresh, locally and responsibly sourced ingredients. No processed soy and GMO foods. From breakfast to lunches, meat to vegan, juices and smoothies. Experience tasty meals for as low as $9. Visit EatingClean.com to view their menu or place your order. Deliveries are free, including reusable plates and bags. Monthly and corporate specials are available. Visit eatingclean.com. That's clean with a K. EATINGKLEAN.com. Or call 328-8655. Wake back up to quality foods with eatingclean.com.
Did you know that becoming a member of the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association is a quick and easy process, and the benefits are immense? It's as simple as completing the enrollment form, which you can find on the website www.cicsa.ky, and return it to any member of the Management Council or Secretary Ms. Zita Bodden at the Registrar's Office on the first floor of the Government Administration Building. It's only $5 per month, which is automatically deducted from your salary. Yes, it's that easy. Remember, the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association membership is open to all civil servants, statutory authority employees, government company employees, and all retired civil servants. CICSA, promoting and protecting the welfare of our members.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
This is For the Health of It with Tara Bush.
Hello and welcome back to For the Health of It. I'm interviewing yoga teacher Mark Jensen. Hello, Mark.
Hey, Tara. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to interact with you. I've taken a couple of classes at Bliss with Mark, and he's always such a joy to work with. And in fact, this course that he is devised, Essential Human Movement, is so pivotal. And when I saw it, I said, oh, wow. So Mark is going to explain it tonight and tell our listening audience why it's so important.
Well, essential human movement is the type of movements and frequency of movements practiced by our hunter-gatherer ancestors in order to survive. Humans have lived as hunter-gatherers for more than 95% of our species history. Modern humans are the DNA equivalent of our hunter-gatherer ancestors, and we modern humans are designed to move just like our hunter-gatherer ancestors did. Our hunter-gatherer ancestors had to move to survive. Movement was essential to hunt or gather food, to build shelters, to carry offspring, to travel to a new location, and to make fire, tools, and weapons. Without movement, our hunter-gatherer ancestors could not survive. Hunter-gatherers, in fact, survived by moving. Hunter-gatherers, by necessity, engaged in movements such as bending at the waist, as in bending over to pick up something, lift or extend, squatting, the original human sitting position, also used for elimination. Squatting accommodates a full range of motion in the knees, legs, pelvis, hips, and lower back. Squatting not only strengthens all these areas, it also makes them more flexible. Lunging, like pushing something forward or up, lowering something you're carrying to the ground, or raising it up, lowering or raising yourself to and from the ground. And then there's rotation, like reaching, throwing, looking around, push, pull, and then last, gait, walking, running, or sprinting. And research shows that our bodies need to engage in these same movements in order to be healthy. In a very short period of time, we've replaced many of the movements I just mentioned with sitting, the worst. As in sitting in chairs, sofas, and car seats, not to mention airplanes, buses, and trains. We used to have to walk or run to get food. We had to walk to find fuel. We had to lift and carry the food and fuel. We had to carry infants. Now we sit down, make a call, and have our food delivered. Or sit in a car, drive to a restaurant, and sit. We practice sitting with more dedication than an Olympic athlete practices their sport. All of that practice has resulted in one thing, immobility.
And obesity.
Yes, and obesity. And by not squatting, we are limiting the range of motion in our knees, legs, pelvis, hips, and lower back. Once again, sitting is the culprit. We quit walking. We have replaced walking on a variety of surfaces with hills, dips, and different textures with walking almost exclusively on flat, level, hard walking surfaces like sidewalks, roads, floors. We've eliminated most of our walking and replaced it with sitting in vehicles. Think for a moment of how in your lifetime you keep spending more and more time sitting in your chosen mode of transportation. We started wearing shoes with heels, which raises the heel of the foot and as a result shortens the tissues in the legs and hips, changes the tilt of the pelvis, and causes the spine to curve and the lower ribs to tilt out.
How is this bad?
We're misaligning ourselves by using the heels, and it shortens all the tissue in the back of your leg. So even a heel that's only a 1/4 inch high will do that, let alone some of the fashions women use with 6-inch high heels and stuff, which really shortens everything and causes their pelvis to tilt forward.
And with your pelvis tilting forward, what does...
It pulls your lumbar spine in, resulting in lower back issues, and then you thrust your ribs out to counteract that, so it affects your entire posture, from your feet all the way to your head.
And this makes it, eventually you'll get injuries, a lot of back injuries.
Yeah, because your tissues are shortening or lengthening to accommodate this out of alignment process. And so when that happens, then the tissue shrinks or grows or expands, and then when you come out of heels, you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. And so I'll let you continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, it's helpful to think of the movements necessary for our bodies to stay healthy as movement nutrition, just like food is nutrition. We need movement nutrition. We need these movements to stay healthy. We need to regularly engage in a variety of movements with enough frequency to become and stay healthy. Research indicates that the lack of essential human movement is linked to coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers, osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, certain allergies, depression, obesity, hypertension, asthma, and gout. As humans eliminated movement from their daily lives, these conditions became more and more common. These conditions are often referred to as diseases of affluence, but in reality, these conditions are occurring in all societies where movement has been significantly reduced or eliminated. Like movement tells the body to retrieve stored energy such as fat and glucose and use it. And movement tells our body to store extra energy in the muscles or use it for repair rather than storing it as fat. Movement strengthens tissues such as muscles, tendons, ligament, and bones. Movement clears out accumulated waste products from the body. Movement is a major component of our cardiovascular system. Your cardiovascular system is much more than your heart pumping blood through your circulatory system. The action of moving your muscles compresses your blood vessels and moves blood into the working areas. The movement of blood into these working areas pulls oxygen into those areas and provides fuel for the cells while removing waste. My motivations for creating the program are varied. The first was in my adult classes, yoga classes. I noticed that while most of my students participated in regular exercise, many had significant limitations, such as not being able to squat or bend over easy. Many had lower back issues. In my classes for children, I encountered many students who found most movements, with the exception of sitting, uncomfortable. They had become accustomed to sitting, hunched forward, looking at an electronic screen. And I was inspired by a book by Katie Bowman called Move Your DNA, which provides a comprehensive case for why natural movement, as practiced by our hunter-gatherer ancestors, is critical to our health.
So the research has always shown, or has been showing, that sitting has become the new smoking, which is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay. And I remember when, one of the things that you told us when you do this essential movement class, which is on Saturday mornings at 6:30 at Bliss.
Yes.
Do you hold it somewhere else?
No, right now it's just at Bliss, Living in Yoga, at 6:30 a.m. on Saturday.
And you said getting up and off the floor without using your hands was an indication of life expectancy.
Yes, that's true.
Explain.
Well, there's a test, actually, that medical professionals use. So you get up from the floor, and they see if you have to use your hands on the floor. And if you do, they deduct so many points. If you have to use your hands on, say, your knees to help you up, they deduct so many points.
And the thing that I loved about your class is you were saying that even your athletes that you work with, even some of the track athletes, they can't get up off the floor. So it has really nothing to do with how fit you are, so to speak. It's more about how mobile you are and how you're able to move your joints. Am I correct?
Exactly. We're talking about movement as opposed to exercise. Mm-hmm. Now, exercise concentrates on one part of your body. Mm-hmm. So if you're training as a runner, that's gonna focus on certain muscles. If you're a squash player, that's going to focus on certain muscles. If you're a tennis player, that's going to focus on certain areas of your body. So you keep practicing the same movements over and over again. It strengthens the tissues you're using, but the surrounding tissue gets weakened. So you get a guy that can run a triathlon, but he finds 10 years later he can't bend over anymore. And he has a hunched forward position. He can't bend his knees. He can't squat. So he's immobile. In fact, of being in excellent shape by an exercise standard.
Right. So I bring up that point to let you know that this class is not like, it's not a super difficult class. You're helping people to build muscle and around areas of their joints that they should be able to get up and off the floor without using their hands. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that, but that was the beauty of it. And it's not a really hard class. It's a good class that you use little muscles that you barely get to use because we're sitting too much.
Yes, and our hunter-gatherer ancestors had to make a huge variety of movements. They had to lift their own body weight up from over their head. They had to bend over, and they had to carry infants.
Right.
Think of you had to move 11 miles. You had to carry a kid with you,
mm-hmm.
and those type of movements. They are. It's excellent for the human body to do those kind of things.
Yeah. So let me just identify. We're midway through the program, so please call in at 1-800-534-8255. I'm talking to Mark Jensen. He's a yoga teacher at Bliss, and we're talking about what is essential human movement and why it's important. Continue.
Well, in order to counteract the lack of mobility brought on by our modern lifestyle and technology, we need to reintroduce the movements practiced by our hunter-gatherer ancestors into our daily lives. By practicing some very basic stretching and strengthening movements, we can reintroduce our bodies to the movements which keep us healthy and happy. It's a gradual process with the intention to avoid injury while regaining the range of movement and strength our DNA provided for us when we were born. The good news is these are simple movements, and most of us engaged in these movements when we were infants and children. The essential movement classes provide the basic framework for the movements we need to practice. Each person brings the movement into their daily routine, and what you do is replace what doesn't work for your health and well-being with what makes you healthy and happy. For example, stop sitting all the time. Sitting in chairs or seats is the root cause of the majority of the musculoskeletal injuries. Our work-leisure environments are designed to ruin our bodies. You have to stand. Use standing workstations. Take walking breaks. This is something you got to bring into your daily life. Look at something instead of an electronic screen. Walk outside and use your eyes. Letting your eyes focus on real objects, faraway objects, and moving objects is essential for your eye health. It's no coincidence the occurrence of nearsightedness increased as we quit looking at things outside and started looking at things close up, especially electronic screens. Spend time on the floor, getting down into the floor, getting up from the floor, crawling, rolling, prone, supine. Act like a little kid. Start using the floor as your playtime. Walk at least 30 minutes uninterrupted each day. Observe your surroundings. Observe the feeling of your body. Cayman is an excellent place to walk, and Cayman's beaches are the best place to walk. Take off your shoes. Go barefoot whenever possible. Walk barefoot on the beach, in the grass, wherever you can. Shoes are designed with heels, which alter the geometry, alignment, and sensory feedback our bodies are designed to utilize. Squat. The deep squat is a very important benchmark of the movement inventory we are designed to have. We are designed to be able to maintain a deep squat as a resting position. Toes forward, heels on the ground, knees bent, and hips lowered towards the floor.
Wow. I can't do a squat. So
well, most people can't. So that's why you start to do it.
Yeah, it's my knees were pretty damaged, but some of the exercises you've given me to release my psoas muscle and to help to lengthen the hamstring, I've noticed a degree of mobility. And I remember that you gave us a challenge to stand longer. And if my audience members will remember, we stood for a whole month. I had all the guests stand for a whole month. So it is more effective if you can do that. I mean, what else are some of the benefits?
Well, the adopting these movements into your life, it's also good for your emotional health and well-being. Like walking. Walking is an important time for you to be alone and in nature, and hopefully away from anything electronic. It gives you the time. Not only you're in the physical process of walking, which is a feeling that's unlike anything else, but you're observing things outside. You're observing things that you don't expect to observe, and you're having that time alone where you can just appreciate being you out in the open.
When you talk about walking, you're not talking about for 30 minutes. You're not talking about like a sprint walk. You're just saying like a meditative walk.
Yes, just a nice slow walk, just for you to spend time walking, doing something physical, but also doing something you enjoy, right. Observing things.
And what I heard you say was that by observing things, you might get to strengthen your eyes.
Yeah, because just think of what you do with your eyes during the day. You look at your phone. You may drive for a while. But then usually in most of our jobs, we have to look at something very close to us. And I'd say the majority of people in the island have to look at something very close that's electronic during their job. Think of the time you spend looking at your computer or television. And children, that's what shocked me, is how much time children spend either in front of a TV or in front of a screen, an electronic screen of some time. When I was teaching at Clifton Hunter, I would say that 90% of the children there had phones, and they were constantly text messaging back and forth whenever they had time to do that, and they were looking at that screen the whole time. And that really affects your eyes. For one, you're looking at something that's backlit, so it's lit. You're getting an artificial light. It's nothing like looking at something out in the open where the sun is the thing that's lighting it, or the moon, or you're in the dark and your eyes have to adjust. And the importance of looking at something very far away and then adjusting to something close up to give the muscles in your eyes that exercise they need. Constantly looking far away, they have to adjust the muscles, and then they pull in for something close up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's people are, and we're sitting our lives away in many respects, and when we're sitting down, we're actually hunching over, which rounds our shoulders, and as we get older, we're almost collapsing. We don't have the upper body strength to lift a child anymore.
No, and all those natural things are uncomfortable.
Yes,
that's what's bad. Is it's all of a sudden you're uncomfortable. I mean, look what airplane seats do to you. They push you forward. You got to arch your spine a little bit, and you're held there for like hours and hours in that position. Yeah, and it makes it very uncomfortable. So now when you get off a plane, it's uncomfortable even to stand up and walk.
So what would you recommend? I mean, other than coming to your class, which I think they should, but where can someone start? You said 30 minutes a day walking, and preferably on the beach. And I know you didn't say it, but I think barefoot is one of the things.
Yeah, barefoot, because the soles of your feet have an amazing amount of nerves in there, and they're designed for that sensory input you get from walking on different surfaces. When you're walking, maybe you'll step over a little rock, and we're meant to feel that, or maybe you'll feel the difference between the sand and the grass. But that's a sensory input we're meant to feel. Right. And that adds to the whole experience of walking.
Right.
It gives you that little extra.
Yeah, and it's not that you're asking for anything crazy. I mean, your classes you're not asking us to do like a wheel or a handstand. It's very, very small movements to increase the muscles that support those joints that you can squat or loosen them up.
Yeah.
Because we are so tight. Explain to the audience what happens to your muscles when you're sitting down.
Well, when you're sitting down, your hamstrings get tired. They shorten. Mm-hmm. You have a muscle called the psoas, which wraps around your legs at your upper thighs and attaches to your back for about, I'd say, 12 inches from the bottom of your tailbone up your back. Now, what happens when this psoas muscle shortens, it pulls your lower back in. So now you're getting lower back issues because of sitting. And so that makes you very uncomfortable. When you straighten out, that psoas muscle's pulling your lower back in, so all of a sudden you're getting all kinds of nerve impulses from that stress on your back. And it's very hard to counteract that. But you have to think of the time you spend sitting is astounding.
That's true.
So that's why you've got to take this natural movement into your life as a daily thing, because you're not going to solve it with an hour class a week.
No.
You're going to have to adopt these changes into your life and start doing them.
Why is playing on the floor important?
Well, being on the floor is important is because, once again, sitting has created it so that if you sit on the floor right now, you're probably going to be really uncomfortable.
I am.
So you've got to start adapting your body to sitting on the floor again and then moving around like that. And that's why, and then rolling on your spine is good. It stimulates your spine. And then being able to get up off the floor is very important, not using your hands. So you develop your core. When you start getting off the floor without using your hands, you have to use your core.
Mm-hmm.
And all the methods to get off the floor without using your hands will encourage you to use your core. And you'll have to. You'll end up using it.
Okay. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, it's good.
Okay. Well, you've been listening to Mark Jensen. He's a yoga teacher at Bliss. And where else, Mark?
Oh, I teach at Cayman Yoga Club, the International School.
Wow. And he's good. He's the power guy at Bliss, as well as this essential movement. And people, if you want to attend a class, it's 6:30 on Saturday morning, and if I can do it, anybody can. So thanks for being on For the Health of It, Mark.
Thank you so much.
And we're moving you to the life you want.
It was difficult to learn that we could not get pregnant. Harder to learn that it was all due to me. Having kids was something we both wanted. So we turned to Cayman Fertility Center in East End. Their full-service facility was world-class with U.S.-trained and certified physicians who supported us throughout our process. If you or a loved one are struggling with getting pregnant, find out your options with Cayman Fertility Center. Call 233-0770.
Refilling and transferring your prescriptions have never been this easy. Simply go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and follow the easy directions from your desktop, mobile device, or tablet. All you need to do is pop into Healthcare Pharmacy in Grand Harbor to collect your prescription. They're open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday and 10 till 6 on Sundays and public holidays. No waiting in line, no wasting your lunch hour, no stress. Just easy online prescription refills and transfers from the pharmacy that has been caring about your health for 25 years. Call 947-8900 to speak to a pharmacist or go to healthcarepharmacy.ky and make life easy.
We believe that every life matters, and we are all connected. One community, one people.
No matter where you live, Holy Cross Hospital of South Florida is breaking down the borders that should not exist in advanced healthcare.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we have opened our doors to the world, bringing you exceptional healthcare.
The multicultural staff features doctors and nurses providing top quality, compassionate healthcare while making patients feel at home.
Our Holy Cross International Services team provides guidance to patients and their families throughout their travel, accommodations, and recovery.
Quality medical care and advanced technology with sincere compassion and understanding. Your trusted health partner for life.
Learn more about Holy Cross Hospital. Email international@holy-cross.com or call 954-351-5906.
Once upon a time, we ate from the land and sea. We may not have had much growing up, but we had healthy foods. It's time to wake back up to natural eating. EatingClean.com is the island's premier 100% born Caymanian-owned cooked-to-order meal prepping service. Fresh, locally and responsibly sourced ingredients. No processed soy and GMO foods. From breakfast to lunches, meat to vegan, juices and smoothies. Experience tasty meals for as low as $9. Visit EatingClean.com to view their menu or place your order. Deliveries are free, including reusable plates and bags. Monthly and corporate specials are available. Visit eatingclean.com. That's clean with a K. EATINGKLEAN.com. Or call 328-8655. Wake back up to quality foods with EatingClean.com.
The Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, CICSA, is an association that brings all government employees together at the workplace, social events, and in matters of concern common to all civil servants. For more information on how you can become a member or to read our story, visit us on www.cicsa.ky or on facebook.com/cicsa.ky. CICSA, connecting, informing, and engaging our membership.
For the Health of It, Radio Cayman's premier health show is brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, the Cayman Islands Civil Service Association, Holy Cross Hospital,
Cayman Fertility Center,
and EatingClean.com.
This is For the Health of It with Tara Bush. For the Health of It with Tara